Coming to you live from the slopes of Breckenridge. We're here in Cozumel, Mexico, exploring the vibrant reefs of the Caribbean. Sailing on the Disney Treasure, we joined up with Explora for a guided snorkeling adventure. The waters here are crystal clear, and below the surface lies a world full of wonder, life, and surprises. As soon as we entered the water, the reef came alive. Corals swayed gently as the current and the schools of fish darted back and forth. It felt like stepping into another world, calm, colorful, and full of hidden creatures waiting to be discovered. One of the first fish we spotted was the black durgeon triggerfish. Its dark body glides through the reef with ease, glowing faintly green when the sunlight hits its scales. Triggerfish are strong swimmers with powerful jaws, and those white lines near their fins make them easy to recognize. Alongside them swam barjacks, sleek, silvery fish that stick close to larger reef dwellers for protection. Soon we were surrounded by sergeant majors, bold little reef fish with 5 black stripes down their sides, one of the most common fish in the Caribbean, and often swim right up to snorkelers, curious and unafraid. Their bright yellow and white bodies stood out sharply against the blue water. These are one of my personal favorite fish because they often do follow you around, and it makes me feel like I have a little fish friend. Not far away, a parrotfish grazed on the reef. You can see how it gets its name with its beak-like mouth. It scrapes the algae off the coral, keeping the reef actually healthy. When they crunch bits of the coral skeleton, it gets ground down and released as fine white sand. In fact, much of the soft sand in the Caribbean beaches was once coral, recycled all by the parrotfish. Thank you, parrotfish. Resting on the sandy bottom, we come across a batfish, one of the reef's strangest residents. With its flat body and wing-like fins, it doesn't really swim. Instead, it walks awkwardly along the sand. Batfish are related to anglerfish, and they even have a small lure on the end of their snout to attract prey. They look more like creatures from another planet than fish from the Caribbean. This was the first time I've ever seen or heard of a batfish, so this was an extra special treat for me. At first, we thought this was a crab, but on closer look, the long tail gave it away. A yellow stingray. Small and well camouflaged, these rays spend most of their time lying flat on the reef, blending perfectly into the sand. They're harmless if left alone, but do carry a venomous spine on their tail for, self-defense. Hiding under a ledge, we found one of the reef's giants, the Caribbean king crab. With its spiny shell and massive claws, it looks fierce, but these crabs are actually gentle herbivores. They graze on algae and sponges, helping keep the reef clean. Some can grow up to 2 feet across, making them one of the largest crabs in the Caribbean. Resting quietly on the sandy bottom was a cushioned sea star. These thick, armed starfish can grow over a foot wide and come in shades of orange, red, or brown. They move slowly, using hundreds of tiny tube feet hidden underneath their body. In one area, we swam past a massive school of snappers sheltering under the reef. By day, They gather tightly together for safety in numbers, but at night, they spread out across the sand flats to hunt small fish and crustaceans. Above them, a few sergeant majors darted in and out, always busy and alert. I love these little guys. The reef isn't just about fish. These fan-shaped corals, called sea fans, sway gently with the current. Each one is made up of thousands of tiny polyps that filter plankton from the water. Though they look like plants, they're actually living animals that form the structure of the reef. Then we came across one of the largest living creatures on the reef, a barrel sponge. These massive sponges can grow taller than a person and live for centuries. They filter thousands of liters of seawater a day, keeping the ecosystem healthy. Because of their long lives, they're often called the redwoods of the reef. Have you ever been to the redwood forest? Comment down below. But beyond the incredible wildlife, snorkeling is also about the experience. The feeling of weightlessness, surrounded by the silence and the color of the reef, is one of the most magical parts of the adventure. Here we spotted a nurse shark resting under the reef. With their broad heads and long tails, they're easy to recognize. Nurse sharks are slow-moving and docile, spending much of the day tucked away before coming out at night to hunt. Every corner of the reef holds something new, from curious sergeant majors to shy parrotfish, from strange batfish to camouflage stingrays. It's a reminder that this underwater world is full of surprises. The more time you spend here, the more you realize just how alive the reef really is. As we finished our snorkel and surfaced again, we couldn't help but look back down at the reef. Cozumil's waters are full of life, from the smallest coral polyp to the largest barrel sponge. It's a world worth protecting, and it's a reminder of the beauty that thrives beneath the waves. Thanks for joining us in this underwater adventure. Until next time, we'll see you beneath the surface. One other thing that you can do to help preserve the reefs and take care of what nature's given us is to make sure that if you're going to use sun protection like sunblock or sunscreen, make sure you put it on at least a half an hour to 45 minutes before you actually enter the water. That way it has enough time to soak in. On all of our excursions during this cruise, they advised us not to use any of the products. Luckily, I had sun protection with my swimsuit and my hood, but wearing sunscreen into the water without giving it an appropriate amount of time to absorb is just polluting the ocean. And those chemicals that are in the sunscreen, they are killing the reefs and they're killing the fish. So if you want to do your part, go sun shirt or make sure you put your sunblock on way ahead of time.